placing the altar like this, oh, this choir is going to be like this. When we calculate this, 33 in 3 places, we have 99. Like that. So he was able to plot that. So when you look at that, the camera work, when you look at it, when you just imagine it, when you visualize it, you can imagine, okay, well, oh, it's going to be like this tabernacle choir that we do see online. I think they're in the US. They're in the US. Something, if you have a very good cinematic camera work, it's going to be beautiful. These are some of the things he has actually, brought to fore. And I can remember about 2 years ago, 2023, when we got this ushering company, and we were still arranging chairs till about 10, and the head of the ushering guy was leaving, and he said, why would you be leaving me? That is anti-protocol. That was the first time I'm listening to feel like that. You can't leave me here. You still see me arranging chairs here, and then you are leaving. So when you look at things that are different, bringing in about 30 million naira as prizes, not consolation prizes now. There are other things, those who say, and aside this, he has provided logistics for all the choirs who are coming. It's not that probably you are coming and then you either maybe it's going to be a trial and error. No, we provided logistics for all the choirs that are coming from the east, from this western part, and all the observing choirs. Each and every one of them are doing with half a million. So these are some of the things, and then we've not added this big before. This is the first time we are having 9. This is the first time we've had improvement in the times in terms of our corporate sponsorship and partnership. We have it, and it is our first time of having press conference for this program.
My name is Asiwaju, and I work with MITV. Just like Dr. said, you have 9 champions. I would like to know what are the criteria you use to put this 9, because everyone of us here would like to have or to acquire participating in such like this. I would like to know the criteria you use.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I'm taking. Number 2.
Nigeria. I first want to commend His Excellency Dr. In fact, he's actually one of the most unassuming politicians I've seen in this generation. He's so down to earth that you can't even relate the politician, just not like any other politician we have in this Nigeria. He's so different and so unassuming. I wanted to just point out that I only heard of a representative from the southeast. I would have thought that perhaps I'm sure it's going to get bigger. I would have thought representative would come from maybe just north central, south. South is of course already a representative, and most of the other part of the country, so that it's gone more bigger. I know it's going to go there, probably be next year. So hope you are actually going towards this.
Dear brother, actually touched on my question, but I'll just ask one more. First of all, I'd like to commend you, sir, for this beautiful initiative. Being a choir boy myself for many years, I've always liked choirs. And I felt that the choir was being, to an extent, relegated to the background in our churches. So thank you, sir, for this. I feel that the choir will be revived through it. I've followed this particular competition for about 2 years now, and I have been fascinated. And just to chip in, sir, I wanted to find out if there are plans to expand this reach to reach the choirs in the north. I grew up in the north and I spent about 25 years, and I can tell you for free, in Jos, Kaduna, Kano Axis, there are fantastic choirs who would love to be a part of it. And then I wanted to also find out, are there plans to also see if we can have this choir, maybe the winning choir, record a song? One of our, I think the moderator over there mentioned the Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, and it's actually my favorite choir. I And one of the ways we loved them was because they kept recording songs, albums, videos. So I was thinking, is as part of the prize maybe in the future, if we can have the winner, have a live recording or something. Thank you very much.
On cameras, not just any camera, robotic cameras. So, and one of the things we ensured yesterday was to make sure that we can send out signals from the media room there, and those who want to speak from that outlet could actually take their feed from what we are sending out. That is in place. And in the last 3 years, we usually have, cameramen chasing after dignitary, because we do have them, in this program, they come around and all that. We want to make this clear that the central high is a rug at the center of the church, that we don't, for a very beautiful camera work, crossing of those lines wouldn't be allowed. We stay to this side of the church, the south and the north of the church. You can take anyone. And when he asked that question, when my friend from Pace asked that question, I'm actually thinking that perhaps you're still going to go back and perhaps have some pushback. We did that yesterday when we were creating room for the judges. That perhaps we still, so that the camera guys would have leg room. If we have about 15, 20 on this side, you can have 6. So if we have support, there will be enough space for everyone. And then we have a gallery. If you are pushing feet from the top, you can see anywhere in the church and all that. And then criteria for choosing the choirs. The last competition, I think about 2 months after the competition, that was about August last year, we sent out audition process for this year, for the 2025. So it's only choirs that showed that interest in wanting to participate. It will shock you. Between that of last year and this year, we have choirs from South Africa, from Zambia, wanting to come. I remember we talked about it on the platform of Board of Trustees, saying that, let's say if they come, if they don't win enough, we're now trying to calculate ranks naira, that if they get sponsors, it will pay them, the appearance and all of that. So we extend invitation to some choirs. That's okay, we know that this choir is good. We don't, a choir that is like the explanation I made earlier about Champions League and Premiership. If a choir is not fit to compete at that level, and you are now saying, oh, go and compete at that level, they are going to it's going to be a walkover for those who are good. So we want those who have the same strength, who can compete together. So choirs take part in this program via audition and invitation. For example, those observing choirs, all of them are invited. We sent invitation to them. And some of them were still like, can we be part of it? No. Because those who are competing, they have sent in videos for their audition, and the videos are on our website. The video is there. Then representative from the Southeast, it still borders on sponsorship. Fine, we pay for the logistics of all the choirs coming. If a choir will be coming from Jos, fantastic. We have very good choirs in Kaduna. St. Christopher's, St. Michael's Cathedral in Brantaiwo Road. I do attend their rehearsals years when I wanted to join the Nigerian Army. St. Christopher's, I think in Catholic Church, they have a wonderful choir too, and a 3-manual organ. I think St. Michael's has 4 manual Allen organ. I know the organ very well. When Right Lieutenant Colonel Omoyomi was the bishop and the present bishop of Ibadan Anglican Diocese was the provost or the dean of the cathedral. You know, it's a thing that, okay, well, you want a choir who want to compete, but consider the logistics and all that. And then I want to believe that with this year, choirs would willingly, he would not mind it. The choir that came first last year came last the previous year. When they came last, they won, I think, 300,000. When I was speaking with the MD said, the 300,000 is not even enough to cater for our transportation from Akure. But the following, he didn't allow that to take time. They came the following year, and they came first. And I think last year they won about 4 million naira or more, about 5 million naira, you know. So we, as the program progresses in leaps and in bounds, we want to think that choirs, because some of these folks, there are a network of choirs. Some would see their friends performing, and they're like, how did you get involved in this? They would naturally want to be part of it. And then plans to expand choir in the north, I just explained that. Then holding of live in songs, you know, for future is something that it's not something that's it's not a child spin. All those camera things that if you go to BBC has they have some permanent cameras at Westminster Abbey Cathedral in St. Paul's Cathedral. It's not a problem. We are going to go. There is going to be a service for King Charles, maybe a memorial service or wedding anniversary at St. Paul's or at Westminster Abbey, and then you see now camera guys going there to read. No, those cameras are there. Cameras picking those singers, picking the House of Lords, the House of Commons. Those cameras are there. So it's something that we can work on, but it's a gradual thing, and it's a lot of investment. And God helping us, we believe that we will be able to do better with this. And another thing, I think that when choirs come first, that perhaps we could have a corporate sponsor that will sponsor them for an international choir engagement. For example, this year we have a choir festival coming up, Krakowian Music Festival 2025 at Krakow in Poland from 1st to 5th of October. That if a choir comes first, that we could have a corporate sponsor picking them up, and you know they are representing, or they are flying the flag of Nigeria at the international stage, and you know that's by way of music tourism. You know, thank you very much.
From TV 360 Nigeria. So I would like to get a clarification on the number of choristers that are coming and the observing choirs. I know you mentioned 9 and 25, but then you mentioned 500 and something. So I need to get the clarification on that.
The entire choir is about 850. As in choristers now. Choirs. We have 9 competing choirs. 9, each choir has about 33 individuals, excluding the conductor and the accompanist. So in some cases, some choirs could have about 35, 36. Now you have about 36, thereabouts, times 9. Those are the ones competing. Then you have the observing choirs. The observing choirs are 21. 21 that comprises of 25
head count.
25 head count, yeah. So you have 25 in 21 places, 25 in 21 places. So when you look at that, you're having about 800 plus. So that 865. Is it 900 or 800?
Or 800.
It's about
865.
865. You know, that's the total. So even yesterday we were talking about it that with the number of choirs that are coming, I hope we'll be able to have place, place for guests and all that. Because looking at it, some choirs that are not invited would come. That we want to we would come. So those ones we are looking at, and that's one of the reasons why we are starting the program at about 10:30, so that we can maximize time. The performing time for each of the choir, when you look at it, combined, because they are going to have two performance time. You know, the first time is going to be about 1 hour. The second one is going to be about 1 hour. If they are performing for about 6 minutes each, that's going to be 6 times 9. Now, add the walking time on and off stage to that. So we are going to have nothing less than 1 hour for each, but we're going to double up so that they can be snapping with, okay, well, it's not a problem, you are now dragging your feet, and the judges are going to ensure that you are walking on stage, you're walking, and then you don't waste any time, because those time counts. So, and then we don't want to bore the audience, because before we started, let me give us a bit of background. This question is like stating your mind, but because His Excellency is on stage and you don't want to ask that, why is this man doing this? Why? I know that question is there in your mind, but you are not asking. Why is he doing it? He's a politician. Why? Okay. He was the choir boy back at Baptist Boys High School. He was not just in the choir, he was the college pianist. And I think in 1973, thereabout, it was few of those who sang Hallelujah chorus at Baptist Boys High School as one of the choristers. And I remember in one of the past editions we had, I think the second one, where the former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, was a special guest. I recall that he said that this is some of the things they taught us back in school. That you can't take this away. You cannot. This made me remember, the school that molded us. And for those of us who have been opportunity to be part of a choir in our growing up days, you can't take that away. Choir training teaches you discipline. It teaches you time consciousness. You can't have choir practice, and the choir practice is scheduled for 5 o'clock, and then you're coming at 6:30. No. It's either you are going to be on your feet and then they do their out to sing, and you know how painful it is when you are preparing for one festival and then they now suspend you indefinitely. It can be so painful. So choir shape us in so many ways. If you are, if you want to be disciplined, you want to be then camaraderie, as in working together. Because you can't sing alone, you are singing in the choir. You are singing with different voices. Even the voice is not good, you are still going to sing with it. She's not singing, she's singing so loud, you are still going to sing with it. So it teaches us these things, and that's why the choir festival is driven by profound purpose to harness the power of music for spiritual and moral growth. So these are some of the things His Excellency has been doing. That, okay, well, how can I impact the youth in this regard? And I've cited the example of the young schoolboys and girls that has just been recruited into the choir of the host church. They are just about between 8 and 14, but they are doing well. And do you know what? Another thing, I think I've written about this before, that if you can sing, you can learn. How do I know this? When I was growing up, I usually fought my father, not wanting to be in the choir. Do you know the reason why I've been so tough on you? He said, the same brain you will use in your study. If you can sing, you can memorize anthems. And I realized that it works. I will sing about 10 pages of Andel Messiah. I do tell people I'm not brilliant, but I don't know. I will just read things and the thing sticks. So it helps. So it's for us to encourage the young folks. And then we also observe that we are losing it. We are losing it. People don't go to choirs again. Before you go to choir, somebody in the elders in the choir would discipline you, they will knock you. But we don't have all that again. We will go to choir practice on our own. So you can care from here to Abishobani in Kejajari. Nobody is going to be afraid of they are going to kidnap him or her. But times are changing. But we can still bring back some of these things. And it's through some of these things that His Excellency thought it out that, okay, let us impact our youth with some of these things. As I was about answering that question, one of the members of the Board of Trustees working, is my pleasure to work 4 years. And I wanted to say what?
Your Excellency, leader and distinguished Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Even though today's not my birthday, but honestly speaking, I want to thank God for the grace to be here today. I give it to Almighty God and our Senator for deeming it fit to put together the Board of Trustees as part of the choir festival. I think it deserves a round of applause. For reasons best known to him, I wouldn't know. He has, in his wisdom, put together a kind of board that consists of eminent Nigerians and seasoned professionals. And what is the BOT doing? We are expected to support the engine room of the festival itself. The executive secretary, who has been doing a yeoman's job for quite some years, I believe by now he's been relieved and is more relaxed than before. And so the board is there to provide a kind of leadership support at all times to ensure that we have an itch-free festival for the year. And so in rounding up, I want to again give it to His Excellency the Senator for putting together a first-class event that is not only going towards the grassroots, but developing our youth, not for anything, but for greater heights. Now, the logistics that my ES talked about, God has been there for His Excellency. Very many of our politicians, who at the time were in government, if you see them today, I'm not here to mock politicians, but they get as me. That is the one reason why people like us, we appreciate people that will term as professionals in politics. They will certainly make a difference. Whether you like it or not, they will certainly make a difference. You can see what he's doing. Having ruled Ogun State for 8 years, the man is back. And you can see what he's doing, so many bills that he has sponsored while there. And more are still coming. So coming back home, I want to say that the BOT will not readily support, will support more. Because let me just say this openly. Yes, I want to commend my brother, the executive secretary, for a yeoman's job that he's doing. But we are here to harness the BOT, the resource of it. I'm sure just for the press, you want to ask questions on that. I won't expose the BOT. So whatever it is, when we get inside the room, we would, but I'm sure His Excellency that we will support the choir festival in a new dimension, which is from next year by the grace of God. And in the usual way of doing things, you know, when you have too many things off his sleeves, you know, you can't blame him. So, but now is more than, you know, him are determined to ensure that if there's one thing that Oga is passionate about, is the choir festival. So whether you see somebody like him, you know, just going to Shakamu and spending 7 hours, you begin to wonder what is happening. How many of these big shots will have time to do such a thing? Question mark. So in rounding up, I want to thank you for coming, and I want to assure you that by His grace, not by our power, that yes, this is a beginning of new things to come. The BOT will support the choir festival, move the choir festival to greater heights. Thank you very much. Appreciation.
Good morning, Your Excellency, gentlemen and ladies of the press and everyone present. Well, as you have said, my name remains Sheila Owaje. I'm really glad when I was called on to be a member of the BOT for this program. It's a privilege for me, and it's a honor. It's a joyful thing for me for quite a number of reasons. Number one being that, well, I'm a professional musician also. I'm a lecturer in music and a doctoral person in music. And I've been also, very importantly, I've been a choir boy since I was like 8 years old. In fact, since before then, because as a matter of fact, while I might have joined the choir around the age of 8, I mean, before then, when I was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, anytime my parents, my siblings were going for choir practice, they would naturally carry me with them. So even before then, I've been, and of course, since then, I've been a choir member, grown up in a choir. So it's a beautiful thing to be in a choir, to sing in choirs. I'll tell you, choir is therapy, choir is healing. You know, the camaraderie that he talked about, it's a very, very real thing. I mean, especially in this present day world altogether, and in this present day Nigeria, when people are going through so many things, I have seen the importance of choirs, of just basically coming, singing together with other people, having a nice time, forgetting your sorrows, your issues of life, at least for that moment. It's a beautiful thing. And of course, it's a very, very commendable thing that, you know, His Excellency is bringing this thing, taking it to higher levels, and even making it even more enjoyable and more profitable in quotes, for choirs in and around this environment. So I'm so very, very happy and honored to be part of the Board of Trustees doing the planning and everything to make this thing happen. So thank you so very much, Your Excellency, and everybody here. Thank you. I'm very grateful.
Thank you. The then music director. Most of the choir work arrangements that they do, this is the man behind those works. And arranging those works of yesteryears and rearranging them. Fantastic arranger, fantastic music person. You are very welcome, sir. Over to you, Mr. Olide.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asharu. I think we'll then, before we go to His Excellency, he mentioned the choir being groomed by His Excellency. You know, he didn't mention that they are on salary.
I did say that.
They are also on scholarship. So that's the man who made choir a profession for younger ones, with all of them graduating into universities on this scholarship. So please, on the sideline of this interview, he is not on this item, but the man who has a dream. So please, you may have one or two few things to ask His Excellency the Senator. Why did he even go into this? What was he even feeling? Why music? So you have
Fellow Nigerian Society of Engineers, fellow the Academy of Engineering.
Thank you all of you for coming. I was Secretary Dr. Asiwaju. I recognize you with respect. Our own POT, thank you very much. Lillian, you've done marvelously well. And of course, our great POT member, thank you very much. And to all of you, I really want to thank and appreciate you. I don't know, what am I supposed to say now? Yeah, everything that needs to be said have been said. But I think that when you are in a position of responsibility and you have a passion, then you just must be driven by something. You heard about my background. I was a chorister, I was an organist. Even as a student at the Baptist Boys High School, I remember that there was a time in local Baptist church there was no pastor, and I was pastoring there as a four student. On Sundays I would go and look after that church. So many people don't know this part of me. The part of the thing is that I was born the son of a clergy. So if you put all of that together, you know where I'm coming from. But as the Asiwaju of Remo Christians, people do not know the body that you have. And one of the bodies is that the last Asiwaju of Remo Christians was Chief Obafemi Awolowo. And I think he was the first and only one. So I'm the second Asiwaju of Remo Christians. So when you are wearing this kind of shoe, you can appreciate where one is coming from. But apart from that, when you look at the total environment, there's so much we need to do to help the up and coming generation. We can do it in so many ways. As a corporate player in engineering, by the way, Mr. Logan is going to be 35 years this year. And God has been faithful, we've worked very hard. And I think people generally agree that in our industry we become an industry leader. And then I had the opportunity of superintending over the state. And part of what was driving us at that time is how to provide employment opportunities for our people. And I feel very, very happy that because of those 8 years, we were able to assist, thousands and thousands of people into employment. And of course, back into the National Assembly, we're also trying what we could do. You've heard about the Southwest Development Commission that I initiated, which is now activated. We are now working on the new state house of Ogun State. All of that is going. But the bigger picture is how to support the young and upcoming generation. When we were young, our parents said we have to go and study engineering, law, and what else? Medicine. Accounting was even later. So it's either law, medicine, engineering. He wanted to join the army, but unfortunately, he wasn't allowed. But when you take a second look at the evolution of the society, you will find that those things that our parents asked us to read are not necessarily the leading today in terms of economic emancipation. So, if you went to play football in those days, when you come back, your parents will beat you. Is that what has to go and do best? Footballers now, they're employing doctors, they're employing engineers, they're employing accountants, they're employing bankers, and so on. And so they're employing lawyers. And if I sit here now and a famous footballer sits with me, these bankers will not look for me, they'll be looking for the footballer. Now, once upon a time also, when you are an artist, you are despised upon, unserious people. But look at what has happened now. We used to talk about the Hollywood, then Bollywood, But now Nollywood is what everybody is talking about all over the world. Look at music. During our time, it has to be James Brown, Shalama, Kool and the Gang, and all of those American stuff. But I don't think we are doing that any longer. So it's not the video and all our local stars who have become international. So something is changing in the world. And we also feel that when you look at all the people who have become superstars, many, not all of them, many of them start from being gospel musicians or going into the choir. So that is part of what is driving all of this. But in doing so, we are coming from a slightly puritanical angle because when you see musicians, pardon me, you think that they can't even go on stage without getting high and all of that and all of that. But when we are coming from this angle, we are bringing people up, making them feel that yes, you can make progress in life by doing things the right way. And not only that, we think that singing gospel music tends to calm the society, tends to calm the environment. Not only that, it also helps to redirect the up and coming ones. I want to crack a joke which you will not believe. During the COVID years, in the hotel that I also manage, a number of our workers stopped working because of COVID. In fact, we asked some of them who don't want to work, you should stay at home until it's over. So when COVID went down, I said, okay, you can resume. Many of them were not ready to resume. And what are they doing? They are now looking for laptop and they want to do Yahoo is the one on laptop. The Yahoo is the one that is very, very bad. Okay, so all of them are now looking at it. And there is even a joke that one parent called me and said, look, please help me go and how to teach this boy how to use a laptop. Parents! So a lot of things are going wrong in our society, and we have a responsibility to see what we can do. And we think that by doing things like this, we can begin to redirect, the psyche of our people. And we are hoping that in the process we can create a much better society. So that's the angle that one is coming in. I think that's in the history of what I want to relate to. Thank you very much.
My name is Abiola. I happen to know my boys when we started in 2000. So we went through all the wars. Excellency, we all know that late MKO Abiola changed the face of Nigeria. In all fairness, you are a professionalist, which I can confirm to myself. Are you trying to change the face of choir in our church? You are trying to bring back the values of the music. It's very small.
So now doing business of Nigeria now.
Good afternoon, sir. So my question is, calling you from your heart to this place. One sees everything about you is all about love for God. The name of your house, and there is going to come there for press conferences. However, with the insecurity we are seeing it, because we can't just leave this place without training this kind of person. With the level of insecurity in Nigeria, what do you think the church can do to help? Because it seems as if the government is there and the people are not doing much to help. So what do you think the Christian body, since you're so interested, what is your message, your advice to help the country fight insecurity? Thank you.
Well, for me, I think that you more or less answered the question. But asserting that part of what you want to do is through this kind of initiative to improve life and living. Thank you very much for being consistent over the years. And to our Navy, security, as you are aware, is something that is endemic, that has eaten into the fabric of our society. But I think the mistake we are making is believing that the only way to tackle security is by using force and expecting government to secure the environment. Most of the challenges or stress that we have can be resolved by the people. And this is where it comes from. And permit me to also go back to, I was born in Ibadan. NWS to 6 points, okay, the Liberty Road in Ibadan. And everybody knows everybody while we are growing up. You knew your neighbor, you knew what he was doing. And so if all of a sudden you notice sudden wealth from your neighbor, you ask questions, you whisper. And as a matter of fact, the way we are brought up is that you must run away from such people if you don't know the source of their wealth. So everybody's business is everybody's business. We eat their hypocrisy, you know. And the value system with which we are brought up does not mean that we run after money, you know. But these days, he has made it. How he made it, nobody is interested. So we have to be our brother's keeper. And if you look at some other crimes, like in UK for instance, you find that your neighbors know what you are doing. They pretend not to know. If there's something strange, for instance, if you have a neighbor, you know, in somewhere in UK, even in remote locations, and all of a sudden they notice some strange people going there. Before you know what is happening, they called the Metropolitan Police. And they said, if they are suspecting something is going on there, they cannot explain. And that is how the environment is secure. So the security is in the hands of all of us. That's actually the point I'm trying to make. Government will continue to do what we want, what we need to do. We must have the current president, you know, despite that the problems are not solved yet. We are hearing that state police is now being, you know, considered as part of national development. The local government police, community policing, and so on and so forth. It's all going back to the fact that there isn't a lot, you know, we can do. We can only help ourselves in fact of security. So that's what I think the way we need to. Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Hello. Sorry.